Hi guys, I'm Tina Tomato, and this is 6 years after removing my Nevus of Ota birthmark from my face. Before I tell you, can you tell where I initially had the birthmark? So you probably can. It's right here on the side of my nose. So there's still a very faint remnant of the birthmark, but it used to be so much darker. And before I had it removed, every year there will be a few times where really kind-hearted strangers would approach me and tell me that my eyeshadow fell off. Oh, and by the way, I think my cat also has Nevus of Ota. And yes, Nevus of Ota can appear in the eye as well, and I also have some pigmentation in my left eye. And this video is going to be very concise and straight to the point. I'm going to talk about how I had it removed, what the process was like, and where to get it done if that's something you're interested in. Because these are some very commonly asked questions from my previous video. So this video is going to be all about the treatment itself. And if you're interested in knowing about what it's like to have a birthmark growing up, how I feel about it, why I decided to get it removed, so all the human side of the birthmark, you can head over to my previous video. But just consider yourself warned, that was done a very long time ago and I just started making videos at the time. I got my birthmark removed by laser, and the specific type of laser that was used is called the Q-switch laser. But that was 6 years ago. I think now there is a more advanced type of laser which is called picosure that they use. And if you understand Chinese, picosure translates into 皮秒. You probably heard of it among your more beauty-savvy friends because picosure is actually very commonly used to treat acne scars and any other type of pigmentation. So right now it's actually very common and very popular in Asia. So because I got this question asked a lot, I actually reached out to the clinic that did my laser treatment, and this is the email that they wrote to me. Okay, so they said, to answer your question, the Q-switch laser was used for your treatment then. But we have since begun using picosure laser, which is superior in several aspects since it promotes healing and is overall more effective. We find that our clients experience faster recovery time as well as fewer sessions required to remove tattoos / birthmarks / pigmentations, etc. So yeah, basically 6 years later, the technology is a lot more advanced. And if you do it with picosure laser, it's actually going to shorten the amount of time for the treatment and also make the recovery faster. The second question is, what kind of birthmark can laser treatment remove? I didn't really get this question, but I know that there's so many different kind of birthmarks, different colors, different sizes, different depth. So I wanted to find out for you guys what kind of birthmarks picosure laser is good for. And I asked the clinic again, and they said both lasers, so they're referring to the Q-switch and picosure, can treat birthmarks like Nevus of Ota, congenital nevus, Mongolian spots, cafe au lait. Other vascular birthmarks like port wine stains can also be removed as well by using another technology. So the third question is, how long did the treatment take and how much did it cost? So for the size of my birthmark, it took me around 5 to 6 sessions, and in between each session I had to wait for 6 to 8 weeks. So in total, the whole treatment took about a year. I spent over $2,000 on it. So each session was around $400 to $500. And everything is in Canadian. But for the length of treatment and the price is really individual. It all depends on like the size of the birthmark and how deep the pigmentation is. But usually per session, I think it starts at $300 Canadian. So yeah, it's definitely not cheap, and it was something I had to budget for. But each session is actually very quick. You're basically in and out in 5 minutes. But in terms of the level of pain, it's definitely painful. I think it's the same level of pain as laser hair removal, and a lot of people do that. So I think it's definitely doable. So in the previous video, a lot of people actually asked me where I got my birthmark removed. So that's why I decided to reach out to the clinic to collaborate with them on this video. And in exchange for this shout out, I am getting something for free. I am actually going to get my skin tags removed for free, which I am super excited about. So the clinic is called Q Aesthetics. They have 3 locations in the GTA area, one in downtown Toronto, one in Richmond Hill, and one in Mississauga. So I have been to their clinic for like a dozen times. So after I had my birthmark removed, I actually had laser hair removal done on my upper lip as well. And the clinic is just like very professional. Everyone's friendly and very knowledgeable. They have been around for a really long time, and they have a lot of experience removing birthmarks, tattoos, other types of pigmentations, and they specialize in laser treatment. So I really recommend them, and that's why I keep going back to them. And I know that laser treatment can be very expensive, so I actually asked them for a discount code for you guys. You can use the code TinaTomato to get a 10% discount, and I'm not getting anything from this referral. I just want to make this more affordable for anyone that want to do it. So I'm not suggesting that birthmarks need to be removed. You know, it's kind of like what Bruce Lee said, don't wish for an easier life, wish for the strength to live a difficult one. But for me, I think I wanted to pick my battles. Not everyone wants to be a warrior in every aspect of their life. And if your birthmark is causing you some kind of insecurities, like, this is a very personal decision. So yeah, I'm not suggesting anyone needs to do it. I actually really look up to the people that can embrace their differences. I think it's really cool that all sorts of beauty are getting represented in the media. If you're comfortable with your birthmark or any kind of differences, I applaud you, and I think that's very, like, I don't want to use the word courageous because it's like there's nothing wrong with it. What's there to be courageous about, right? The willingness to stand out is something that I really look up to. I think inner work is so much more difficult and so much more important to do than like tweaking your outer appearances. But I think doesn't matter what choice you make. If you decide to remove it or if you decide to keep it, it's your personal decision, and doesn't matter what decision you make, it's the right one. But anyways, if you do decide that removing your birthmark is something you want to do, you can go to Q Aesthetics and use my code TinaTomato to get a 10% discount. I hope that helps. So my memory on this is very, very fuzzy because it's been 6 years. But I think maybe a few weeks after my last treatment, I might have observed some white dots, like very faint white dots in the treated area. Like, it wasn't obvious enough for me to be really concerned, but I think over time the white spots faded. Now, my memory on this is very fuzzy. I don't even know if I really had a white spot, but even if I did, the white spots were very faint. It wasn't obvious unless you look really, really closely. And eventually it did fade away in, like, I don't know, a few months maybe. And if you look at my video from 2 years ago, you can see that my birthmark area didn't have any hypopigmentation, and I definitely don't have any hypopigmentation right now. And as for reoccurrences, this is how laser treatment works. So immediately after each treatment, the treated area is going to darken at first, and then you're going to see scabs forming in the area, and then after the scabs fall off, then the treated area is going to lighten in like a week or so. And then after each treatment, it basically darkens again and then lightens, darkens again and then lightens. And after my final treatment, it lightened significantly. And I don't think I have observed any darkening in the area. And now it's been 6 years, it hasn't come back for me. But from a sample size of 1, those were not problems that I had. Alright, so that's all the questions that I have received. If you have any more additional questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. And also, if you're in the GTA area, you can actually get in contact with Q Aesthetics because they offer free consultations. And I think they will be able to do a much better job than me in answering your questions about your specific case. And if you're interested in getting anything done, like not just removing birthmarks, if you want to get your skin tags removed or fade your acne scars or get some laser hair removal done, then you can use my code TinaTomato to get a 10% discount. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Okay, that one I almost couldn't feel it.
Really? That was a skin tag. Maybe it's
Okay.
because it has thicker skin.
Yeah.
The flat boards are more attached to the skin.
Okay.
So you feel that one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.